Hi, my name is Dr. Megan Robertson with Bridge Rights Physical Therapy, and today we're going to do a 10-minute warm-up that's great before going on a run. You're going to start off lying on your stomach and bend one knee, and then you're going to flag it back and forth. So this is an exercise that helps mobilize the hip, and it's also a little bit of a core exercise because as you do this, I want you to hold your stomach tight so that your pelvis isn't rocking side to side too much. We'll do 10, and then we'll switch to the other side. Again, use your core muscles to help hold your pelvis or your hips stable, and you're going to flag your knee side to side. We'll do 10 on this side as well. Keep breathing. But this is not a strenuous exercise. Next, you're going to come onto your hands and knees, and then bring one leg out to the side, and then from there, rock backwards. So this is a dynamic stretch for the adductor muscles, which are the inner thigh muscles. And all of these should be really gentle stretches because they're supposed to be done before running. You can do really similar stretches after your run if you want, and then hold them and stay more deeply in them. And then switch to the other side. Bring the other foot out and then rock backwards. 10 of these on each side. You should feel a gentle stretch to the inner thighs that kind of changes a little bit as you rock forward and backward. Good, and after 10 of those, we're going to do a hip flexor stretch. So you're going to bring one knee up, so you're going to lunge, and then rock forward and backwards. If it's a little bit of a balance challenge for you, you can hold on to something that's nearby, maybe a foam roller or a chair. And you should feel a gentle stretch through the front of the hip. The front of the hip that's back anyway. And 10 rocking back and forth of these as well. And then we'll switch to the other side. Keep breathing. You should feel a little bit of a stretch, but again, we're not holding these, and you don't have to go too deeply. It's just a warm-up. And after 10 of those, we'll move on to stretching the hamstrings. You can switch back to the other side. So for these, if you are flexible enough, you can put your hands on the ground like I am, or you can put your hands on yoga blocks or on some piece of furniture to help you balance. But basically, you want to feel a stretch through the back of the leg that's forward. And you may be very different from me, so you might not be able to straighten it very much at all, so I can get mine almost all the way straight. But that doesn't matter at all, as long as you feel a slight stretch in the back of the leg, and you come in and out of that stretch. Keep breathing. And again, we're doing 10 on this side as well. Great. Next, we're going to do a stretch to the calves and the toes. So you're going to extend one leg back behind you and then rock back. You should feel a stretch on the back of your lower leg and through the bottom of your foot. This one especially would be best to do barefoot, so you get that mobility through the toes, but it's also fine in shoes. And switch to the other side after 10. Good, keep breathing. Notice your elbows. If they're locked, gently unlock them. Good, and after 10 of those, we're going to do a stretch through the middle of the back, the thoracic spine. So you're going to reach one arm up towards the ceiling and then thread it through the other side. Good, and we'll do 10 on this, 10 on each side of this as well. I like to inhale, lift my arm up, and then exhale, thread it through. Inhale up, exhale through. Keep going until you've done about 10. And then switch to the other side. Again, inhale up, exhale, thread it through, inhale up, exhale, thread it through. If you notice that one side you have a lot more mobility than the other, then on the side that's a little tighter, you can do a couple extra rounds. But for this video, we just do 10 on each side. So this is doing a rotation movement through the spine. The next one we're going to do flexion and extension, so rounding and extending. I'm showing a variation with the front of the mat rolled to help with wrists, but you don't have to roll it, and you can also be on your fists if your wrists are tight. I'm doing cat camel here, and we'll do 10 rounds. For this variation on cat camel, my weight is more in my wrists rather than back over my hips. And I'm doing that to get more motion through the thoracic spine, or the middle of the back, rather than the low back. Keep breathing. Great. All right, next exercise. This is a strengthening one. All the ones before this have been mobility. Now we're moving on to strengthening. So you're going to lay on your side and do side-lying hip raises. So I have my hand on my pelvis to make sure that they're stacked on top of each other. And then from there, I lift my legs straight up towards the ceiling. And you should feel this through your side butt. Now I'm going to do 5 circles in each direction. So 10 leg lifts and then 5 circles counterclockwise, and then 5 circles clockwise. As I'm doing this, I'm using my abdominal muscles to keep my pelvis stable. And then switch to the other side. Make a pillow with your arm, or grab an actual pillow. Bend the bottom knee to help keep your balance. And then again, we'll start off with 10 straight leg raises. Keep breathing, keep the pelvis stable. If you're lifting your leg really high up towards the ceiling, you're probably not quite doing this exercise right. You should feel it in the side back of your butt. Good, then 5 circles clockwise, and then we'll move on to 5 circles counterclockwise. Keep breathing. If the circles are a bit much, then just rest. Excellent. Now we're going to do an abdominal exercise. So you're going to bring one knee at a time into your chest. And then place your hands against your knees. And then you're going to press your knees into your hands and your hands into your knees. So you're meeting the resistance. So you're not actually moving at all. I could tell when I was doing this that I was shaking a little bit. You might be able to see that in the video. So I am using some effort, but I'm not using so much effort that I can't breathe. And I'm doing 10 breaths for this. And on my exhales, I'm really pulling my belly button towards the spine. Great, now place your hands behind your knees. And then you're going to push your feet away from your body, but your hands are keeping your legs where they are. So this is another isometric exercise. And again, I'm doing 10 breaths, and on the exhales, I'm gently drawing the belly button towards the spine. And then inhale, relaxing slightly and letting the belly fill with air. Great, now place both feet on the mat or on the floor, and we'll do some bridges. So for the bridges, we're going to do 10 of them, and I like to exhale, lift my hips into the air, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. As I do these, I'm squeezing my glutes or my butt muscles to lift up, and then relaxing slightly to lower down. And nice work. Have a great run.